What's up, guys? Part-time gamer dad here. Bad Blood 2024 just got done, so I figured I'd beat all the other reviewers and let you know my thoughts on the show. Before we get to the video, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and comment down below your thoughts on Bad Blood 2024. In hindsight, I see why this match opened the show. However, if you had asked me beforehand if I thought this match should have opened the show, I would have said no. Like in my predictions video, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match should have been the main event. It had all the heat. It had a proper build. They've had the matches beforehand, which have really solidified the fact that this is a matchup that has all of the emotion, all of the story beats, and all the drama going into it that justifies it as a main event match without having a title or without Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes in the match. All that being said, even with it opening the match, this match was still very high drama, great storytelling, and honestly, probably the best Hell in a Cell match maybe in the last decade. I mean, it was great. I give it, I've been juggling between 4.5 and 5 stars. I think I'm going to give it 5 stars. I mean, this was a great match. I think it told the conclusion of this story really well. I appreciate how they still brought in the whole bracelet story plot device without really making it hokey or corny, and that Punk just put him away. But at any point in this match, you could have seen either guy going over, but I do think, like I said in my predictions video, CM Punk winning makes the most sense when you consider the direction that they're heading with the story of the World Heavyweight Championship probably down the road, and CM Punk and Seth Rollins being set up down the road. So great way to kick off this show. Like I thought, this match was a banger, and I give this one 5 stars. Next up, we had Bayley versus Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. Now this matchup, I mean, I think it was fine. I honestly think this match was not as good as their SummerSlam match. The whole element of Tiffany Stratton trying to interfere and cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase and Nia catching her and being like, "Are you trying to screw me over?" was a great storytelling. I do think that this match is weaker than their previous confrontation, though. I give this one 3.25 stars. I think it was good. It was still good. Bayley's great, and Nia Jax has really come a long way. I still don't particularly care for her, but I think in her role, she's being utilized to the best of her ability. And she and Tiffany have a really great story going on. Tiffany Stratton obviously is a star in the making, if she's not already a star. And I think there's a little bit more of those seeds being planted for the eventual turn. I keep thinking it's going to be Nia turning on Tiffany, but maybe it will be Tiffany turning on Nia. I don't know, but everybody wants to see Tiffany cash in and win the Women's Championship. So I think eventually Tiffany will be the face going into that feud. But all that being said, solid match, decent match, not as good as SummerSlam, but I do give it 3.25 stars. Next up, we have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a match that really, like, as you watch the video package and you watch the promo, it really was more than a year in the making, and I think they did a really great job telling the story, using the Judgment Day with interference, and Damian Priest just showing why he's a beast, taking everybody out, and still walking away with the victory. These two guys actually really work well together. I think they have good chemistry. It's kind of a byproduct of the fact that they were part of a team for so long. And also, they've had great matches in the past. I give this one a little bit of a notch above the previous match. I put this at 3.5 stars. It was nothing terribly special, and I don't mean that as the match was bad. I just think it was a paint-by-numbers kind of match. Obviously, there was a lot of time given to the main event and to the Hell in a Cell match, so some of these matches kind of in the middle of the card didn't get as much time to shine. I think if I remember correctly, this probably got about 15 minutes, and so it had a solid amount of time, but there was nothing ever really in doubt about the outcome. And I think that for a little man versus a big man story, it did well. It was interesting because Finn's the heel, Damian's the face, so the dynamic is switched from the typical, David versus Goliath storyline. But I think that it really solidified the fact that Damian Priest is a main event player. Finn Balor could easily be a main event player in this current era of WWE if he's not already considered that. I think he's like upper mid card. But Damian is right there on the cusp of being like, he is the most solidified upper mid-carder in all of WWE, in my opinion. but he really is a main event player. He held that title for nearly half a year, the World Heavyweight Championship, and is continuing to show why he is somebody that everybody should continue to keep their eyes on. And that whole ending with coup de grace to the back, that third coup de grace, he's going for it, and then out of midair, Damian Priest catches him and hits the South of Heaven chokeslam for the win. Great storytelling. So all those things considered, I give this match 3.5 stars. This next match, it kind of has the same, I don't want to say knock against it, but it was very paint by numbers and to a degree very predictable, except for the outcome was not necessarily what I expected. I will say that with Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, this still has a lot of mileage left to it. Dom being suspended in the shark cage, being fearful of heights. I understand, bro. I'm the same way. It was a great storyline piece and match set piece that really added to the match. And when he got the door open, really funny commentary from Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Did he learn that in prison? Just great. Those two guys were great on the headsets all night. So shout out to them. Just want to give them a special, shout out because it really amplified the show and all the matches to me as well. But with Dom, falling out of the shark cage and then Rhea whooping up on him, then you had Raquel Rodriguez come and interfere. And from maybe not from like Judgment Day, but like pre-Judgment Day, obviously Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, have been associated, have been friends. I believe we're even tag champions at one point. So, a really smart way to get Liv out of town with the title still around her waist. I don't like seeing DQs in title matches typically. So, the finish was a little weak, but I think it continues to build the story in such a way that it makes sense. And that's the thing. Triple H does a really good job of making the story make sense with the way that he uses long-term storytelling to develop characters, develop story beats, develop new wrinkles that continue to justify the length of these stories being told. So all that being said, I also give this one 3.5 stars because some of the stuff that they did in this match were really, really good between Liv and Rhea. And also just the dynamic of Dom being in that shark cage and some of the humor of that was really great. So just like Finn versus Damian, I give Rhea versus Liv 3.5 stars. Now the main event, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes teaming up to take on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline 2.0. I mean, here's where I'll start with this matchup. The entrances were interesting. Cody Rhodes' entrance. Does anybody else feel like it was botched like several times? Like the band wasn't quite on with the music from the actual recording. They played Cody's entrance like twice, like they did the wrestling has more than one royal family, and then it was silent, and then they did it again and started the song properly. So it was kind of a little, I don't know, I was already kind of like, man, this is gonna be rough. Then Roman came out, and you had all of that Philharmonic Orchestra, and they were playing his song, and it was just chef's kiss. It was so good. And then the match started, and it was, again, paint by numbers tag match that really broke down, about halfway through and in a really good way. I love the salute that Cody gave to Roman as he splashed Jacob Fatu through the table, a callback to when Jacob Fatu did the same to Cody Rhodes several months ago. There was a couple times where I thought maybe Fatu and Solo will win this. But I don't think that, for Roman's first match back since WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes, first of all, I didn't think that Roman was going to lose. I thought he would get the pinfall, and I really thought it would be Solo. And I even said it in my prediction video that I thought Solo was the one who could eat the pin. And he did. And Jimmy Uso has returned. And I've never seen Jimmy Uso as over as when he super kicked both Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa and took off that hoodie, and everybody went crazy. People went crazy for Roman Reigns. That is the loudest pop I've ever heard from Roman Reigns, period. If you wanted to see how to get Roman Reigns over, look at the last 4 years. He comes back, he wrestles in this match, and he is exactly what Vince wanted him to be 10 years ago. So kudos to Triple H and the way he built and developed this character. He's done a great job with it. And I'll give Vince some credit. He played through those things. He started those things, but Triple H just took it to a whole nother level. And then as, Cody is watching Roman and Jimmy leave, he gets jumped by the Bloodline. Roman finally decides, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing. And Jimmy's, convincing him to do the right thing. And they go in, they back up Cody, they take out the bloodline. And Roman picks up the title and he looks at it, hands it to Cody, doesn't quite let go. He lets go. Cody holds it up. And then If You Smell starts playing. And guys, when I say I just stopped everything I was doing. I was eating Fritos and I stopped in mid-bite because I just thought he was coming back. But then the way everything broke down post-match was just like kind of dragging on. I was like, oh, we're just trying to solidify that Roman's a babyface. And then there was The Rock. He didn't have to say anything. He came in, he got his music cut off, he did the 1, 2, 3, and it started his music back up. And you just know that whatever's going to happen from here, it's going to involve this little three-way dance between Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and the final boss. Sorry, Santia, I had to steal your thing. In such a way that, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I really still think it's going to be OG Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0 at War Games. But obviously they're not going to do the whole crown jewel matchup like I anticipated of Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. If you didn't see, it's going to be at Crown Jewel. Triple H came out and said the women's world champions, so the WWE women's champion and the women's world heavyweight champion, will face off against each other to become the Crown Jewel champion. And similarly, the WWE champion and the world heavyweight champion on the men's side will also wrestle to determine the Crown Jewel champion. This will happen every year at Crown Jewel, which is a cool concept. So obviously, we're probably heading for Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, which I think will be a great match. And probably like Tiffany Stratton versus Liv Morgan if Tiffany cashes in. Or Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, which would be interesting as well. But with all that being said, where does that leave Roman for Crown Jewel? Do we get Roman versus Solo, Roman versus Fatu? Is The Rock going to get involved in Crown Jewel? What is The Rock going to do? Is he actually going to be involved in storylines between now and Royal Rumble? I thought he was going to come back at Royal Rumble, like officially. But does this now lay the groundwork for him to come back and be inserted in these matches between now and the Rumble, or even now in SummerSlam, which would be crazy? So overall, I give the tag team main event 4 1/4. And honestly, I'd probably get given it 3 3/4, but I got to give it a little half-star bump due to Jimmy Uso returning and The Rock returning. Great pay-per-view overall. Nothing below 3 stars. This was just a really solid outing. Ended strong, began even stronger. So shout out to WWE. This was one of the best PLEs you put on all year. In a year of just banger PLEs. So let's give a shout out to Triple H. Let's give a shout out to WWE. Their shows continuously deliver. Their 60th sellout of the year so far, as Triple H said when he came out to announce the whole Crown Jewel Championship. So really great show. Really excited to see where we go from here. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you like wrestling, if you like video games, or if you like the occasional parrot humor, you're in the right place. And also, make sure you comment down below your favorite match from Bad Blood 2024, and I will see you very soon.